Hello, magical family. I'm Savina, and welcome back to the Witching Hour. Today, let's talk about Harry Potter canons, including the Cursed Child, things I would have loved to see created, and I just want to get into discussion. I've been wanting to do this for a while now, so please feel free to comment down below if you have any feelings about what I'm about to say. As always, before getting into it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and if you do, thank you. I say let's dive in, and I want to start with The Cursed Child. If you haven't read this as yet, I believe it came out in 2016. If you haven't read it, I encourage you to read it. It may be for you, maybe not. It seems that there's like a split right down the middle. Either people really, really love it or they really hate it. I haven't really found any in between, really, when it comes to storyline. For me personally, I actually fall under the category of a person who really, really hates it. I do. I tried to love it. I don't. But like I said, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for you. I would still recommend giving it a shot, but here's where I come from. I do not consider it canon to the original Harry Potter series for multiple reasons. And the reason why I hate it, if you don't know, The Cursed Child is actually written as a play, so a script. So it is a book, but when you open it and read it, it is like, exactly, have you ever seen a play script, like stage left, stage right, the characters, what they say, that's how it's set up, the entire thing. That's not why I hate it. That doesn't bother me at all. I've read many plays before. What bothers me is the entire damn story. It is what it is at this point. I remember when it first came out. So what is that, 5 years now, right? I was so excited when everybody was starting to talk about like, oh, there's something new coming for the wizarding world. So excited. I got it not too long after it released. Actually, my boyfriend bought it for me. It was a gift for something. He bought it for me though, and I was thrilled. I started reading it, and right off the bat, I was like, oh, it was definitely not what I expected. And I remember, unlike the original Harry Potter series, I had to like keep forcing myself to finish this book. Author is Jack Thorne, and again, this is not any kind of stab at him or anything along those lines. More power to you, I say. I mean, he was able to, obviously he's a fan, he's a part of the Harry Potter series. He put his own spin to it. He was able to market it and make it something huge, because there is a huge following for it. So I commend him for that. Like, congratulations on that front. But personally, like I said, for me, it just reads as fan fiction, which essentially is what it is. And again, in my opinion, I mean, and I've read fan fiction before, and there's fan fiction that I like. I'm going to be honest. There's some people's takes on things, and I'm like, yeah, that would work. I like this. In the case of The Cursed Child, I didn't like any of it. I'm sorry. And I wanted to so badly. Now, part of me believes that this book did so well. And again, I'm not trying to hate on it. It's just, again, my personal opinion, but I think they were so smart when it came to marketing. If I could find a picture of the book somewhere, my copy is in a box somewhere. Yeah. So if I find a picture, I will put it somewhere on the screen just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. When you see it, you see The Cursed Child, and in big letters, you see J.K. Rowling. So they have pretty much on the front of the book based on the story by J.K. Rowling, but they put J.K. Rowling in big letters, and then Jack Thorne's name is much smaller under her name. So right away, as a fan, I think even without thinking twice, you see J.K. Rowling, you see Cursed Child, you hear Harry Potter related, you're sold. You're gonna buy the book. And I think marketing on this was very, very smart. And like the not to mention, they decided to release this book on Harry's birthday, July 31st. Again, marketing. If marketing wasn't that good, I don't know if it would have done that good or as good as it did. Again, this is just my personal opinion. When it comes to the actual book, he made Harry's character, and this was a huge pet peeve for me, kind of a sucky dad. And I was like, what? Like, you know, it starts off with, you know, platform 93 in the beginning, you get excited, you know, everybody who fought in the Battle of Hogwarts, now they're sending off their kids, including Harry and Ginny. And he created Harry as more of a, like, oblivious father, not really in tune with what's going on with his own kids and how they're feeling. A father that's not really present all the time. It was so off, I think, from what a real perspective can be. One, I mean, Harry has been through so much in all the books, so much loss. Not having his own parents, watching so many people he loved die, and really, really focusing on love and wanting to be more, and courage and bravery. Like, I love his character. So the fact that after all the crap he went through, he's gonna become kind of a crappy dad, like, that kind of ticked me off. You know, and everybody's like, oh, well, he got caught up with, like, work. And regardless of anything, if a real canon or another canon was written for the Harry Potter series, I think he would be an amazing dad, especially with Ginny. I mean, they are such a solid couple. They work so well, and they've been through so much. I think something as important as their children wouldn't really kind of just get sidestepped, and I hated that off the bat. Two, I felt it was so predictable. So it was literally, it felt as if, for me, a fan saying, and I'm being brutally honest, I might be being too harsh. Again, this is all my opinion, but this is how I feel. I felt like it was just as if a fan wrote it and was like, what if everything the opposite of what we thought would happen happened? Harry's son ends up in Slytherin, becomes best friends with Malfoy's son, has a crappy relationship with his dad, who is Harry. And it just kind of goes down the line, you know? Then I had issues with this. There's a lot of small details, and if you've ever read the actual Harry Potter series, there's things that don't make sense. And especially if you don't know, J.K. Rowling has always, even after the books were done, she would give like snippets of information online about characters or things like that, and more details because fans kept asking for more. So she would release new details about characters, about items, magical items. And a lot of it didn't fit. There's a lot of small details in the Cursed Child that just doesn't fit with what we would know to be true to the Harry Potter series. Then, and this is probably the biggest spoiler I'm going to give you, but I have to, because when I read this, I was like, no. Are you ready? And again, still read it if this is your first time hearing this. But Bellatrix and Voldemort had a daughter. Yeah, I still don't even like saying that. Apparently, they had a daughter in some span of when Bellatrix was let out or escaped from Azkaban in Order of Phoenix, and so from then to Deathly Hallows, where she dies, they conceived a son, had a son, and daughter, and kept her in hiding for me, it just doesn't fit because of their characters. One, the only thing Voldemort cared about whatsoever. I don't think he had time for lust, love, anything along those lines. I don't think any of that mattered to him. It was just power, beating Harry, taking over the wizarding world, and kind of pretty much he was after the Muggle world too. And Bellatrix, she, yes, did have some kind of infatuation with him. I would 100% admit that. But I think she just like fawned over his evilness. Like she was like pure evil too. And it was like she was so incredibly impressed by his level of evilness. But for them to have a kid together, just, it didn't work for me. Anyways, you know, she's bitter because of everything. Again, that became predictable in itself too. I was a little like, what, when I first read it? But then the rest of the storyline became very predictable again. I read it once. I read out the entire book. I made myself read it out. I had to force myself to read it out because, again, my heart was just not in it. And when it comes to how it was written, it wasn't horrible. It's just the storyline, the details did not make sense to me at all. So again, I do not call it a canon. I do not. You know what I would have loved? I would have loved, and I keep saying it over and over. Okay, if somebody didn't write a book, make like a prequel, please, with, and obviously they went Fantastic Beasts with Grindelwald, and before all of this stuff, before Voldemort was even in existence, right? But why not make a movie or a book about Harry and his parents, the original Order of Phoenix, Voldemort's rise to power, and it ending the way the first one, Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone, the way that one began. Let that be the ending, you know? But from the time they were in school, or if they have to break it up into like a mini kind of series, I would love to see that. Too, if they did a canon for like after the fact, you know, the 20 years later from the Battle of Hogwarts and all of that, I would love to see that too. But I would love for the details to just fit and make sense. Comment down below if you've ever had any ideas or things you would have loved to see. Again, prequel, I guess. I've thought about that so many times, and it doesn't even have to come from J.K. Rowling. I'm not saying a canon has to be written from J.K. Rowling, but I think something could be written where the details make a bit more sense. By all means, like I said, there's a lot of people who love it, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you like what you like. But for me, it's a no-go. And this is the funny part, though. They turned it into an actual Broadway play, which I think is amazing. I mean, it was written as a play. It deserved to be performed on stage, and they made it happen. Everybody says the play itself is amazing. So from costume and the magic they make happen on stage, everybody says it's amazing. So that alone actually makes me want to see the play. And I was talking about this throughout the last couple of days with somebody on Instagram. And she's amazing, but she kind of feels the same way I do. She actually saw the play. She said the play is beautiful. It's amazing. She loves it. But like me, she hates the storyline. So that intrigued me, and I definitely want to see it. Broadway is supposed to finally be opening again sometime this year. Those guys have been out of work for over a year. That's tough. So I would love to support in that way and go see it. And I would give the play a chance. I would love to see like magic happen in front of me in a sense. But I do know I still hate the storyline. But I mean, maybe I'll just love the production of the play itself, which there's a big following for that too. If you're one of those people, like, tell me what side of the fence you fall on. Do you love the storyline? Do you hate it? Do you hate the storyline, love the play? Do you hate both? I need to know. Do you love both? I'm telling you, I wanted to love it so bad, and I just couldn't. Then there's people who say, like, if like Netflix or somebody made Harry Potter series itself like a mini series or a series where they could literally get more of the details right from the book. I love the movies and the books. Obviously, the books have different details and a lot more detail. So people think if they're able to make it a series, they could fit a lot more of that in there. But then again, I'm like, who would they cast as so many of the characters? I just don't know. Let me know if you have any ideas from the Golden Trio to the professors, Hagrid, Sirius. Like who would you picture playing these characters if a series was created, if a prequel was created? I'm so interested in that. I do hope, and obviously me, like anybody else, when I finished Deathly Hallows, like my heart broke a little bit because I'm like, I need more, I want more, and I know I'm not the only one. So I'm gonna end it here because at this point I'm just rambling. So again, let me know how you guys feel about it. Comment down below. I was just being honest. Cursed Child. Hate it, love it. Let me know. If you haven't read it, again, I'm sorry if I spoiled anything, but still read it for yourself. I hope you guys are doing well. If you haven't watched my other video, I've been on YouTube officially a year now, and that's crazy to me. So crazy. I am planning a giveaway. Don't know what I want to give away yet or how I want to handle it. If you have any ideas for a giveaway, let me know. What's something you would love to win? I hope you guys are doing well. I don't even know if I said this already, but staying safe, and until next time.